It's called strength and conditioning, guys. Let's imagine that you're about to go on some kind of top secret mission. You don't really know what it will entail, only that it will test you physically and mentally. What kind of training do you do to prepare? Now the answer should be strength and conditioning. But what does this really mean? Well, essentially it means building strength while also focusing on muscle endurance, cardiovascular health, longevity, maybe a bit of mobility. It means building all-around fitness, essentially functional fitness, or GPP, general physical preparedness. Over the years of running the Bioneer, I've researched a lot of military groups, and all of them understand this. They don't focus on how much their soldiers can squat or bench. They focus on activities like rucking, which is walking long distances with weights, bleep tests and grueling tests of mental endurance. Sports teams don't hire strength coaches. They hire strength and conditioning coaches. Now they should incorporate the squat and deadlift into their programming in most cases, but their goal should not be to get them to a 500-pound squat with recovery times that take away from their main training, or at the expense of endurance and cardiovascular efficiency. They should also incorporate footwork drills, sprint intervals, stability work, cardio. That's what functional training is, by the way. And everybody knows this. Everybody understands this distinction, except, it seems, YouTube Fitness, and a lot of fitness coaches, and even some personal trainers. The problem is that these are areas that reward fast results and visible results. If I can bench press a huge amount of weight on camera, or show off impressive abs, then you'll probably click on my videos and you'll trust what I say. And it's easy to conceptualize a goal like bench press more. Conditioning is far more nebulous and vague. Being a bit stronger with slightly better endurance isn't as sexy. And quite a lot of what I do on this channel is actually trying to make this kind of training exciting, because I think that training that actually has you moving your body is in many ways more exciting. Try hitting a heavy bag, or doing battle ropes, or swinging a kettlebell, or slamming a med ball. These things are kinetic and exciting. These things build muscle while also increasing endurance. You won't see the progress quite as obviously, but you will feel stronger and you'll be able to exert yourself for longer. You'll notice it when playing with your kids, when sparring, when playing sports. Your body will actually look better because you'll develop a decent amount of muscle while also stripping away fat to look mean and functional. And I'm not saying that you have to do this instead of pure strength training if that's what you enjoy, or pure cardio. In fact, these combinations pair extremely well. Stack conditioning on top of your powerlifting or weightlifting program, and you'll find that the added work capacity allows you to lift heavier for longer with lower injury risk. And building muscle endurance often leads to better hypertrophy for those interested in looking better. That's because it increases blood flow to the target muscles and can cause some metabolic buildup that sends a powerful growth signal. So, how do you go about incorporating more conditioning into your workouts? Here are some suggestions. But before we get into that, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, NordVPN. NordVPN is a VPN, a virtual private network. That means it can protect your internet privacy by adding an additional layer of protection while you're browsing. The way this works is simple. You look up a server located elsewhere, managed by NordVPN, and the server then browses the sites that you're interested in on your behalf and relays that information back to you. This way, if someone were to snoop on your internet activity, they wouldn't see what sites you'd used or anything else, only that you'd visited that server. That even includes your internet service provider. This is important for keeping your personal information safe, but it also helps you to access region-locked content. In other words, to watch shows and films that are only available in other countries. This literally unlocks a whole world of additional content without you having to fork out for yet another streaming service. NordVPN also comes with a host of other features, including, for example, threat protection, which protects you whilst you're browsing, even when you're not connected to a VPN. Go to nordvpn.com/thebioneer and you'll get a big saving on a 2-year plan. Thanks again to NordVPN for sponsoring this video, and now on with the show. Cardio finishers. So cardio finishers are popular for those that want to build muscle while also stripping away fat. Essentially, you end your workouts with 10 minutes of endurance training, whether that's with battle ropes, kettlebell swings, or something else. The goal is to increase your total energy consumption without compromising the quality of the preceding workout, which would happen if you did it first. I like choosing cardio finishers that focus on the same muscles or same movement patterns that I just trained. So doing battle ropes after a shoulder workout, for example, and this results in a huge metabolic buildup in the area that can only enhance growth. cardio acceleration. Cardio acceleration is a really cool name for a form of training, and so I like it right off the bat. It basically involves sacrificing your rest periods for cardio. So for example, between each set of bicep curls, you perform some jump rope. This keeps your heart rate extremely high throughout the entire workout, making this an extremely effective method for body recomposition. This does have some downsides, of course. Apart from being extremely tough going, it does also take away from your strength training. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing depending on your goals, as exerting strength when tired is actually what many sports and activities demand. GPP. When someone who trains primarily for strength adds conditioning to their list of priorities, it's often referred to as GPP. Again, that's general physical preparedness. This basically means ensuring the athlete has some basic fitness in addition to their pure strength. Why not add a day of high rep push-ups, kettlebells and accessory lifts to your routine? Work capacity training. A great way to improve your work capacity, the amount you can train, is simply to focus less on increasing the weight and more on increasing the total number of reps. You can also look to movements like the kettlebell halo or kettlebell swing that naturally lend themselves to training for higher reps. Try doing halos for 1, 2, 3 or 5 minutes and see how your shoulders feel after that. It's a different kind of training for a lot of us, but it's something that I think really lends itself to the way that we're supposed to use our bodies. High intensity functional training. High intensity functional training is, as the name would suggest, a form of training that combines high intensity with functional movements. For those clamoring to the comments to tell me that every movement is functional, I know. This is more about exercise selection, which goes for functional training in general, and making sure to cover aspects of movement that could otherwise get overlooked, that's all. Things like rotational movements or hip hinges. So imagine combining a kettlebell swing with a kettlebell halo with farmer's walks and maybe a sprint, and then perform those as a circuit, providing you with challenge that utilizes the entire body and uses both strength and endurance. The important distinction here though is to choose movements that can be performed safely when fatigued, so no heavy snatches after those sprints please, and ease into those more awkward angles. Performed properly, this type of training can prepare you for real-world tasks performed in the way that you perform them in the real world. We don't just lift something once, put it down and walk off. That's very rarely useful for anything. Sports. You know what though? Simply adding some kind of sport to your training can also make a huge difference. If you currently only weight train, consider adding martial arts or rock climbing, football, tennis or another activity once or twice a week. Now, not only building strength, you're also testing and developing your overall fitness in a way that's fun. So that's how you incorporate conditioning in a fun way that doesn't take away from your other training goals. Let me know how you incorporate conditioning in the comments. And if you want a training program that takes care of all of this and builds fitness in every domain, from strength to cardio to mobility to brain function, then check out my ebook and training program, Super Functional Training 2.0. That comes with over 2 hours of instructional videos and an 85+ page ebook. There's a link in the description down below, and if you use code CONDITIONING, you'll get it for 25% off for a limited time. Either way, thank you so much for watching guys, and bye for now.